over the weekend, Semaj Morgan had his football camp at West Bloomfield High School. I went out there and caught up with him for a little bit. And a couple things to take away from it. First and foremost, questions about wide receiver, questions about quarterback. It's been by far the most noise, the most talked about thing this offseason. And this is why I like Semaj Morgan. I'll read you the quote word for word from him. He goes, when asked about the wide receivers and the quarterbacks at Michigan, he goes, "I don't know what you're hearing, man. Nobody outside of Schembechler Hall knows shit anyways. So whatever you're hearing, it is what it is, because we got some stars and you're all going to see them when the season pops up. I'm confident everybody in our room and in our quarterbacks, especially our quarterbacks, I'm confident in. I feel like we can follow any one of our quarterbacks into the fire, and we could throw any receiver out there when it comes to crunch time. When the season comes, you'll see. A lot of people might think they know something based off seeing who left and all that, but they don't know shit." So you like to see a little fire from Semaj, who, my gosh, I know Michigan's PR, every time a microphone is in front of him, they cringe just a little bit, but I thought fairly emphatic sort of endorsement of the situation from him.
I like him. I like that he's outspoken. And I remember at media day before the Rose Bowl and Ron Bellamy pulling him aside, Michigan's wide receivers coach, and saying, having a little talk with him. Kid had his sunglasses on, right, on a cloudy day. I think it was raining that day, as a matter of fact. And we're in a tent, in a dark tent, but there he was. And I think his parents are the same way, man. Semaj is Semaj. It reminds me of Steve Fisher back in the day about Jalen, when somebody would ask him about Jalen Rose. Jalen's Jalen, and Semaj is Semaj. This kid, but he brings it, right? Yeah, he had this big mistake in the Rose Bowl, but as a true freshman, this kid provided some huge highlights, including the punt return against Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. He's going to be a gamer for them. I have no question that he's going to bring it on every down, and that they're going to have a real fun time trying to keep him from saying too much. But we'll see. I like the fact that he's defending his guys. I don't necessarily agree with him about the quarterback position, but you know what? I like the fact that he's putting in the plug for them and saying, hey, these are my boys, and we're going to be, and I'm 100% behind them. So they're still going to need another guy. Tyler Morris, I think Semaj Morgan are going to be really good at 1-2 guys, but they're still going to need another couple guys, whether it's Fred Moore or maybe a Morian Walker surprises, something like that. But yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. How about that?
Well, I want to, so he endorses the guys, right? But then he's sort of blunt afterwards about what they need about this from the starting quarterback, whoever it winds up being. And he said, he told us he has a good relationship with all of them. They all throw great passes, blah, 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 right? Go read the article at the website. Yep. No free ads here. But I thought it was quite telling, and I'll read another quote from here. He says, "I'm not trying to compare anybody to J.J. McCarthy, but he was a great leader last year, and we all knew that we could just follow him. We all knew he was going to do his job. So that's what we need out of the quarterback this year. I'm not saying we don't have a quarterback that has none of that, but I'm saying whoever our number one is, he's going to have to show that we can follow him into the fire. That's what a lot of people on our team respected about JJ last year, and I was one of them, and I respected him because of that."
Yeah.
So on the same token, kind of lays it out like, hey, you better show in camp that you are a guy we can follow, because the standard was set over the last few years.
Yeah. Look at his eyes right there, and you can just see the confidence. And I would rather have it that way. I would rather have a guy that you have to talk down a little bit than say, hey, you can do this, right? And they've had their share of guys like that in the past too. So confident, maybe a little bit cocky, yeah, but I think he's going to make that leap from the freshman sophomore leap. That's going to be he's going to make his impact on the team this year. I don't have any question about it, and anxious to see him again in the punt return role. Is a guy that can help there. They're going to need some help on special teams. AB the special teams are going to have to complement the offense to put them in good positions too, because it's going to take them a while, in my opinion, to really find themselves.
I'll read one more quote from him here. This is from part 2 of our conversation. He says, "To be honest with you, I don't really care if people know who I am. I don't care about all that fame stuff, but last year I feel like it was just an introduction. I put my feet in the water a little bit, and I didn't even scratch the surface last year. It's not even anywhere close to what I could do. You saw me play in high school, so you kind of know. I'm just ready to do that this year. I'm ready to play. I'm a dude, and I'm going to make the most of any opportunity I get, but I will be in there more. I will be in the game more than just coming in for a play, doing something, and then coming out. if I'm in there more, I feel like I can do more. So yeah, I mean, this guy, you hear that and you're ready to run through a brick wall and put all kinds of stock on what he can be as a playmaker. But I guess the takeaway for me is that with guys like him, I don't have any doubt that we saw in the Rose Bowl the type of juice that Tyler Morris has. I think he's going to be a weapon. Yep. Fred Moore's a guy that's put in a lot of work this year. It's really, I don't have a whole lot of questions about this wide receiver group, the tight ends group. It's going to come down to quarterbacks, and we'll see if that guy's there. It really feels like it is the one thing, maybe not the one thing, but the biggest thing that could determine if this is a 9-win season, a 10-win season, or 11 wins, 12 wins better, in terms of what we saw the last few years.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. So, and it's like they said, the time to get a quarterback would be January. They didn't really know if J.J. McCarthy was coming back. They hoped so, but he made the right decision for himself, AB. And now it's up to one of these guys, the expectations for the position. I know it's cliche at Michigan, but that's just the way it is. Whoever wins it has big shoes to fill. So interested to see what Jack Tuttle provides. It was interesting listening to some of his teammates talk about him when we dropped off the check from the Champions Circle to a couple of them. And they said, keep an eye on Jack Tuttle. I think it's going to be maybe a combination of him and Alex Orji. So we shall see, but Jack Tuttle made some improvements last year. He's not the quarterback that he was in those couple of years at Indiana. I think that a lot of people will be surprised when they see him.
Yeah, again, we'll probably have this conversation 10 more times throughout the offseason, but you're not going to apologize for your season going on longer than anyone else and your star quarterback having a decision to make. You kind of just handle what comes next because you got the bird in hand, you have the national title, and now you work to, you know what the standard is and you have something to build towards.